Good evening, afternoon, and morning to you all. Welcome back to the I played the blank game for blank number of hours, and all I got was this video series. The series where I play a game for however long it takes, tell you my thoughts about the game, and some things I have learned along the way. I made a video about Assassin's Creed Shadows shortly after it came out, and in that video, I made a mistake. Here, I would like to rectify that mistake. During that video, I told you that Assassin's Creed Shadows was a good game. At the time, I had played the game for around 40 hours, and I was not even halfway through it at that point, but I want to be clear, at the time, I truly believed that AC Shadows was a good game. After playing the game for 100 hours plus and getting nearly every achievement, I have changed my mind on my initial impression. I no longer think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is a good game. After seeing all this game has to offer, I now believe that this is a great, not good game. This is certainly not a perfect game, and I don't think it's winning any Game of the Year awards this year, but nevertheless, this is a great game, and in my opinion, is an S-tier Assassin's Creed game. Let me tell you why. All right, now I just want to give a quick spoiler warning about Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm going to give my thoughts on the story, but I won't be spoiling the story. I'll be going over some themes and a bit of how the story kicks off. I will also be talking extensively about the gameplay, some of the characters, some side content, etc. Also, I won't be including any cutscenes in this video, only some sweet, sweet gameplay. So you have been warned, and proceed as you see fit. All right, let's start with the story. The story of Assassin's Creed Shadows is not revolutionary or groundbreaking in any way. It's a classic Assassin's Creed story. You're trying to take down a shadowy, no pun intended, organization. There are a few twists and turns along the way, but overall the story is fine. I found myself truly gripped in certain sections and not so much in others. The story was good enough for me to want to keep playing the game and exploring the world, and that's really all I ask for in an Assassin's Creed game. I don't come to these games for their stories. I play Assassin's Creed games to experience certain locations in specific time periods. Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in medieval Japan, and this is a time period I'm extremely interested in, so it's not hard to see why Shadows gripped me so much. The assassin plotline is not revealed until much later in the story. I personally don't have a problem with this because it felt fresh. It felt like a new take on the war between the assassins and the Templars. Without spoiling the main quest, I would say that if you like the other Assassin's Creed storylines, you will probably enjoy this one. But if you're looking for a deep and interesting story, this game does not shine in that regard. Let's talk about the main characters. Shadows lets you take control of two characters, Naoe and Yasuke. Each character plays vastly different, and this is something I found to be refreshing actually. In the past, when there have been two assassins, they either feel like reskins of each other or I hate one of their personalities. I'm looking at you, Jacob. In Shadows though, the characters are distinct, and I actually like both of them as characters. Naoe fits the more assassin type role. She's agile and very nimble. She's able to climb much more efficiently than Yasuke. She's the character that I played the most of the game as because it just feels like the game was made for her. I enjoyed Yasuke's storyline, and some of my time playing him was fun, but it doesn't seem like he fits in the game. He's a massive samurai and is not very good at sneaking around. When playing as Yasuke, the only approach is to go in guns blazing. I can see the appeal of Yasuke, but I prefer to strike from the shadows, again, no pun intended, as Naoe. However, I am glad that they are both in the game. Each character offers a vastly different experience, but each of them have their specific uses and instances where they really shine. A lot of criticism I've heard about the two assassins is that they have no personality and are incredibly boring. That was just not my experience. Sure, neither of the duo have Edward Kenway or Ezio levels of charisma, but they each have their own charm. I enjoy that the assassins feel different. They each have their own personalities and motivations, and even levels of commitment to the assassin cause. Naoe and Yasuke are no different. They feel like fleshed out humans, and their differences when compared to the other assassins only highlights these human qualities. I can understand why people judge Naoe and Yasuke harshly, not for being a woman or being black though. I cannot understand that, and that's an entirely different video. The motion capture and the voice acting, though, does leave a bit to be desired at certain points. It doesn't always feel like the facial expressions or inflections in their voices match the situation that they're in. However, the substance of the conversations was something that I could feel mostly. Again, that's asking a lot for players, and I can understand that this could be completely immersion breaking for some. However, I did not have that experience and again, enjoyed my time with the game. Moving on to the world, what Ubisoft has been able to do with Japan completely captured me. The landscapes are beautiful, and I wanted to explore every area possible. There is a lot to do between the provinces of Japan. There are forts, trainings, meditations, animals to paint, lots of targets to assassinate, merchants, NPCs to interact with, etc. This is where the game really sucked me in. The side content never felt like bloat to me. The biggest compliment that I can give to the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows is that after 100 plus hours and doing everything that I could, I was sad that there wasn't more to do. I could have easily spent another 50 plus hours if there was more content to engage with. The side content though is very Assassin's Creed coded. You'll be sneaking around bases, climbing to the top of viewpoints, exploring ancient tombs, and clearing question marks off the map. In that sense, this is an Assassin's Creed game through and through. There is a lot to do in the open world, but the map never felt cluttered to me, and I am someone who gets incredibly fatigued very quickly with open world games that have a checklist of things for you to do. But I never felt fatigued while playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. While I never personally felt fatigued with Shadows, I could see why people would get annoyed with this game and think of the side content as bloat. I really believe that you will know pretty quickly if the side content is going to feel like bloat for you or not, or if it's going to be engaging, because what you're doing at the start of Assassin's Creed Shadows is largely what you will be doing throughout the entire game. So if you're enjoying it at the beginning, I think you will continue to enjoy it throughout the game. If you're not enjoying it though, I don't think you're going to have a very good time with Assassin's Creed Shadows. The content itself was the main reason I enjoyed my time with Shadows, but the visual representation of medieval Japan was another key reason. The team has created some of the most lush and interesting environments that I've ever seen. There are mountains, expansive grasslands, cities, massive lakes. Each region feels distinct from one another while maintaining the same overtones throughout the entire country. This is before you even begin to discuss the seasonal changes. I've seen games that have distinct biomes in different regions, but this is one of the only games that I can think of that has all 4 seasons in each biome. Along with those seasons, of course, comes varying weather patterns ranging from light to heavy rain, spitting snow, and blinding blizzards. I felt like each region was vastly different depending on which season the area was experiencing at the time I was in that region. All that to say, Japan is fantastic in this game, and I simply could not get enough. I was like little Oliver Twist, please Ubisoft, can I have some more? To which I'm sure they will oblige by selling me a bunch of DLC. Another quick point I want to make is on the music. Most of the time, the music in this game is traditional Japanese instrumentation. However, when you get into fights, these trap drums kick in and the music gets a real modern flair to that classic traditional Japanese style, and I absolutely loved it. All right, let's get to the most important piece though, the combat. Juicy combat. It's a pillar of any good game and what will keep me coming back over and over. I love a good story in games, but they are called games for God's sake, and so gameplay is king. The combat of Shadows kept me hooked from the beginning. Each character has multiple different types of weapons that each feel vastly different. Combat can also be difficult when dealing with multiple enemies, especially with Naoe. The difficulty here is not Dark Souls level of difficulty, but I found it to be refreshing. The complaint I have had with other Assassin's Creed games is that the entire crux of the game is about sneaking around and, taking people out from the shadows and whatnot. But in the past, if you alerted lots and lots of guards, it didn't feel like an issue to just deal with infinite amounts of guards. The combat, while fun at times, was way too watered down. In order to augment that, the older games would just have missions that would desynchronize you if you alerted guards, and I just don't enjoy that. That is not the case in Shadows. If you want to go in guns blazing, that's fine, but you'll have to deal with the enemies. Yasuke is admittedly better at dealing with mobs, but like I said, I played mostly as Naoe. She does not have nearly as much health as Yasuke and can easily be overwhelmed. For that reason, at the start of the game, I would choose to sneak around and take guards out one by one until I had dealt with all the guards in the area. Let's take just a brief break here to talk about the stealth in the game. It's also a pretty good improvement on the prior installments. The stealth is not punishing though, because you can run away and reposition if needed. Also, the scenario changes depending on whether it's day or night. Enemies are better able to see you if it's the middle of the day. At night though, there are plenty of sources of artificial light, such as candles and braziers. At night though, you can use your shuriken to destroy these lights and conceal your presence. I stealthed my way through the first half of the game and a lot of the second half as well. However, I actually felt like I was getting better at the game through the combat. The combat of the other Assassin's Creed games rarely changes. How I start playing the game is how I finish playing the game. What I mean by that is if I start an Assassin's Creed game being able to just deal with mobs and mobs of enemies, no problem, I likely won't engage with the stealth and will just continue to fight the mobs and go in loud any chance I get. That is not the case in Shadows. I started by sneaking around and picking guards off one by one due to the necessity at the start, because if I got into an engagement with multiple enemies, I would just fold like a lawn chair. After dozens of hours though, I was able to run through enemy camps like John Wick as Naue. Once my build was fully fleshed out and I had a firm grasp on the combat, I could play the game as a master assassin, using either the stealth approach or by just going in loud. I actually felt like I earned the ability to go in like Rambo into these camps because I'd gotten better gear, sure, but mostly because I'd gotten better at playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a game that I was actually sad to be done with. The story sure is just passable, but I enjoyed getting to know Naue and Yasuke and finding more out about their motivations. However, where the game really shines is in Ubisoft's interpretation of Japan. After playing this game for 110 hours, I firmly believe that this is a great game and an S-tier Assassin's Creed game. Thank you all for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Assassin's Creed Shadows got a really bad rap when it released, and I'm glad that I spent so much time with it and didn't let that dissuade me. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future uploads. Also, if you want to see me play games live, be sure to check out my Twitch channel. I stream on Tuesday afternoons and would love to see you there. However, if you're only here for this specific video, I appreciate you watching until the end. I hope you all have a beautiful time, and I will see you all in the next one.